What if quitting smoking wasn't actually the thing that changed my life? What if it was just the thing that finally forced me to start changing my life? I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I quit smoking 25 years ago, and at first, the goal was quitting. But somewhere along the way, I started realizing maybe quitting was just the beginning. Maybe you're watching this and quitting smoking isn't your thing. Hey, maybe it's something completely different. Like, maybe it's your job, maybe it's drinking, maybe it's the extra sweet treats, maybe it's your phone. Maybe you've spent 20 years pretending to be someone you're not, or at least what everyone expected you to be. Maybe you're so comfortable being someone you're not that you're not even sure who you are anymore. Like, for me, smoking was the doorway. It was that one big thing that I had to confront. And when you've been doing something for 25 years and you go ahead and break that habit, man, there's a certain amount of weird space. And we talk a lot about this on our channel, and I call it the ritual gap. Right, more on this in a minute. But that space, like generally, we were filling it, right? Like you'd have a craving, you'd smoke your cigarette, have that break, reward yourself, right? That was the way that you were dealing with stress. And then you would just start that process over and repeat it. And then suddenly, poof, she gone. And in that moment, you have to ask, like you can't help but ask, now what? And that now what is what those ritual gaps become. Here, let me try and explain it to you. Like on this channel, like I was saying before, we talk about these ritual gaps. And that being the ritual being smoking. And now that you exited out that ritual of smoking, you're left with that gap of what do you do? And throughout the day, there's many of these gaps and you combine them all and you got like a lot of time on your hands. So the now what, I believe, comes out of the actually quitting smoking and those ritual gaps. Because in my experience, the ritual gaps, those are the moments that I got to be whoever I wanted to be. I got to try old hobbies, try new interests. I got to do some looking and reading in on certain things. Like I had more time for myself, my family, and my friends. So there's a lot that comes out of these ritual gaps, and that's why we talk about them on this channel so much. But also, like without smoking, like there's that physical part, of course, where, man, you feel like $1,000,000, right? Instead of waking up in the morning and you feel like one giant cigarette, right? Just this stale, rotten, smelling, tasting from the inside out. Yeah, so don't miss that either. But hey, the future, I mean, that's what we get to decide today in the present, what our future is going to be. And my future, for sure, will not have smoking in it. And I'm going to share my story of rebuilding with you until there's no more story to tell. Your smoking might be completely different, right? And this is the part that I really want people to understand. I'm not making this video because everyone needs to quit smoking. No, this is just my story. And it may not be yours. Your thing might be completely different. And maybe the question isn't, how do I get better at resisting this? Maybe the question is, why do I keep needing this in the first place? Because I started thinking differently about habits. Sometimes we spend our entire lives trying to become better at resisting things. Resisting cigarettes, resisting alcohol, resisting the extra cookie, resisting your phone and procrastination, and whatever else it may be. But maybe, we're trying to solve the wrong problem. Yeah, we're trying to solve the wrong problem. The whole resistance thing. Okay, this is something that I've also been thinking a lot about. If you have to fight yourself every single day to make something work? Well, eventually you have to ask yourself whether you're fighting for the wrong thing. Now, I'm not saying life is supposed to be easy. No, it isn't. There's going to be hard days. We're going to have to do things that we don't want to do, but we have to do them anyways. But I do think that there's a difference between hard and consistent resistance. When you're doing something that actually fits you, like that feeling of being in the groove, where you just like can lose track of time, where something that takes 3 hours, like literally is like a flash and it takes like 30 minutes and you're like, whoa, where did the afternoon go? That's being in the groove. And when you're in the groove, you're definitely not negotiating with yourself, or you're not saying, I wonder what everyone else is doing, or like, should I be doing this? No, it's not like that at all. You just do it. And I've started wondering if that isn't part of the secret. Maybe the goal isn't to be undeniably excellent at forcing yourself into a life that doesn't fit. Maybe the goal is starting to build a life that fits you. Like for me, something that I did recently where I just completely lost track of time was definitely taking a road trip with my wife. Oh, we went for like 5 days. It felt like we literally drove there, ate some lunch, saw the water, the 10th largest lake, freshwater lake by surface volume in the world. Turned around and came home, stopping to get coffee at Tim Hortons, I believe. And it was just like that, 5 days, poof, gone. And that's being in the groove. And I know being in the groove puts me in a completely different state. And the people that we conversed with and talked with throughout our trip, that right there told me everything, that I was totally in the groove, in the zone, yeah, in it. Not trying to fight it, not trying to push myself, not trying to make myself enjoy myself. No, it would just happen. Because if you're forced to do something versus being in the groove, well, I don't even know if I have to explain that. Like, it's just, we all know. Like, it's those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, this is just agonizing to go through whatever it is. That's forcing yourself through. Where being in the groove is, like I just spoke about, it's just like a flowing river, right? And that actually brings me to something that we've been doing a lot of, and that's going on the no plan road trip. This time, we didn't actually plan a single thing. Well, okay, I can't actually say that because we did. We did plan where we were going to be staying and a quick look over of how to get there, bare minimum. But as far as like scheduling what to do on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, no, we didn't do any of that. And yeah, I just wanted to drive. Yeah, I just wanted to go drive. I wanted to go drive down roads that I haven't been on. I wanted to go see some interesting stuff and just stop and do whatever it is that we saw on the trail that we would like to do. I'll tell you what, it was weirdly refreshing. Yeah, because we're so used to having everything figured out. Like the destination, the schedule, the plan, the next step. And sometimes I think we do that exact same thing with our own lives. We think we need to know exactly where we're going before we start moving. But maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just got to start moving. For us, we had gone to Thunder Bay and planned that trip to the T. This trip here, it was different because there was only my wife and I. Our son was gone to the grandparents for the week, and we had all this time on our hands. We better go do something. But we were so tired from the everyday grind that we didn't even want to plan what we were gonna do, which turned out to be the best part about the whole trip. We kind of knew that we had a few things that we wanted to see, and the rest was just gonna be whatever happens, happens. And I'll tell you what, that put us in a complete different mindset, a complete different level for energy, and you connect and draw in what you're putting out. So the people that we connected with on that trip were fantastic. And They also thought the same thing of us, because our levels were at a high frequency, plus we're also not working, neither were they. Like, we were in a complete, like, separate neutral position, really away from home and each on vacation. Now, like, the one thing that did surprise me on our trip was realizing that whatever we wanted happened. You ever had that happen where you're like, man, it sure would be nice if this happened? Poof, there it is, and it happens, right? Like, a lot of poofing going on. Yeah, anyways, so a lot of things were happening like that. And where we ended up was exactly where we needed to be. Which brings me to this video. Like, normally, I would have things completely planned, like scripted, documented, camera, B-roll, cuts, graphics, DaVinci Resolve, editing, the whole 9 yards. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, I enjoy making those videos. In fact, making these videos and this channel saved me in the early days of smoking, and since then has also contributed to me doing something with my hands and my mind instead of smoking. So yeah, I don't mind making those videos. I quite enjoy it. But I've also been thinking about the road trip, and I've been thinking about the control, and about trying new things, and about being a little more authentic. So today, I'm trying something different. I'm not gonna polish every sentence. I'm not gonna edit every pause out. I'm just gonna sit here with my notes and talk to you. And maybe this video will be better for it. Maybe it won't. I don't know yet. But that's the kind of the point. And actually, this is also connected to the video that I recently put out, the Life After 40. I'll link it in the description. It's the one that I recently made. That video was another example of me trying something different. And that is becoming a bigger part of what second wind actually is. Not pretending I have everything figured out. Not pretending I've become some perfect version of myself. But experimenting, learning, sharing. Getting things wrong, trying it again, and figuring it out. Figuring out what actually feels like me. And that's what I think midlife can be. Not a crisis, not the end of something, just a meaningful reset. And for those of you that are making your own meaningful reset and prioritizing your health, your energy, and your future self, then I've got something that can help. It's the first link in the description. Sometimes you just need a place to start. So if that's you, please go ahead, check out the description. The bigger second wind idea. That's really where I'm going with second wind. Like, smoking was my initiation. It forced me to change. But now I'm asking, what else has to change? Like, what can I learn? What can I try? What else can I do? And maybe that's what you're asking yourself too. Because I don't think 40, 45, or 50 means that you should have everything figured out. You probably spent a lot of your life trying to make other people happy, and maybe now it's time to focus on you. The real reset. So maybe your second wind doesn't start with quitting smoking, right? Maybe it starts with quitting something else. Maybe it starts with starting something else. Maybe it's a business, maybe it's traveling, maybe it's getting on a bike, maybe it's changing your career. Maybe it's finally admitting, this life doesn't really feel like me anymore. And then do something about it. You don't need the whole plan. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. Sometimes you just gotta turn the wheel and see where the road takes you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Losing my mind here.